So I guess I'm gonna do storytime stuff. Since I'm terrible at picking a theme I can stick to, but I have lots of stories that flood my head. It would be nice to get some of these things off my chest and out into the world. This story came to me one day as I was walking to work, as most stories that I obsess with come to me. ADHD can really cause thoughts to control you. This kind of has to do with my childhood ADHD, actually, and the undiagnosed condition and how it impacted me. I've had a lot of time with this story in my head. It was back in first grade when, well, as a transgender man, it was while I was a little girl. So in these stories of my past, I'll be referred to as she, her, by other people I mention. Anyway, in first grade, it was a place to be with others my age. I loved wearing overalls, my favorite outfit, and I could be more myself than anywhere else. It only took until after my first grade, where school started to not be such a happy place anymore. From there, it just got worse as more anxieties and problems began to occur for me in many different ways. Kindergarten was my first school experience, that being just singing the ABCs and playing with friends, really. Then, first grade suddenly gives worksheets to do, and I didn't really process the transition to actual learning and responsibility, I guess. So, when I got worksheets, I just ended up thinking, oh, it's a coloring page. Nice, I'll color and have the most coolest and most colorful picture. Or match the dots, then color the picture. You know those worksheets. Now, I do remember missing recess a lot to do work with the teacher, but I just assumed we had a good relationship and we were friends. Turns out, as I overheard during the end of the year teacher-parent conference, while I was in the corner playing, I heard them discussing how she's not ready to move on and she has trouble following directions. It seems dramatic, but I just felt my heart sink, because I always thought I was doing well. I mean, I loved school. Maybe it wasn't at the conference, maybe it was just at home with my parents talking, but I remember hearing those words, and they echoed in my head, still do sometimes during these flashbacks. It crushed my self-esteem. It's kind of funny how something that seems so small and insignificant can impact you so heavily in your childhood. I still remember those feelings so clearly. The following years, I just kind of shut down. It wasn't a safe place to be myself anymore. I was terrified of not meeting the expectations the other kids seemed to. Scared to be held back again. It was a shameful secret that I kind of blocked out. Blocking things out mentally doesn't mean it doesn't still affect you, though. Once, during picture day, we were waiting in line, as kids do, to get our picture done. I felt something pulling at my hair, so I snapped and said stop, very aggressively. Come to find out, it was my teacher just trying to brush it out. I was so embarrassed, I could have cried, but I didn't, because I was still in line, surrounded by other people. I don't even remember the teacher's reaction or what they said or did. My mind just went blank, and I retreated into my consciousness to get through the rest of the day. I would just get lost in the drawl of the day-to-day, unaware of my surroundings. Picture day was a day of pretend. Pretend like I liked planning my outfit. Pretend like I was a normal girl that liked picture day. And pretend for the cameraman and turn on my performance face. So, between those major events, like waiting in line, I just kind of shut down and prepared for my next performance. Everything I did was with a purpose. In class, I double, triple, quadruple checked every assignment I got. When I did forget and got carried away, usually with coloring or drawing assignments, I relied on my desk mates, like a girl in my class who leaned over and pointed out, "The sky's supposed to be blue, not green." I suppose I was taking some artistic liberties there, maybe watching too much Dragon Ball Z during the Namek arc. It flung me into such a panic, though. I tried using a white crayon no kid ever uses to try to dim the color. Then I tried coloring over it with the correct color, but it didn't look great, so I tried scraping off the crayon goo from the paper with my nails. Then, with the color again, all over. It was quite a journey, and I was never really happy with the final outcome, but it seemed to pass. Despite my panic that this would cause me to fall behind again, the teacher never said anything, and I guess accepted the correction. I was never diagnosed or realized it was ADHD that made these things difficult until my last year of high school. That was the year I really became myself and accepted the truth of who I was. I had placed such high standards on myself to be perfect that I could never reach, just to avoid other people being uncomfortable. Eventually, I just told myself, my happiness is more important than acceptance. Doing what makes you happy is worth it. So, just take the leap. I had to give myself permission to be selfish. Just remember, it's your life. Make sure you're doing what you want with it. If the people around you love you, they have to accept it.